I have a son. His name is Jake. He loves books. He loves music. He loves to dance. He loves his little brother. He loves being a big brother. He loves his family, his aunts and uncles. He loves to go for walks. He loves to talk to the neighbors. He loves dogs. He loves baseball. He's a huge Cubs fan and, loves to go and watch the games and loves to go to the playground. Loves to go climb to the highest slide, which gives me a heart attack, and go down. He's the greatest son you could ever imagine, and he was born with Down syndrome.
When Jake was first born, I was completely shocked because we both had thought that we were going to have a girl. So when the doctor said it's a boy, I was ecstatic. The doctors were doing some tests on him, and I walked over, and right away I saw his eyes, and at that time I knew he had Down syndrome.
It was hard, even though I had experience with kids with disabilities for so many years. It just wasn't, what you expected. You go in happy, it's your first child, you're just, thinking everything's going to be perfect, and they're going to be dependent on you probably for the rest of their lives in some level. And that kind of makes you sad, thinking that he's not going to get to really get out on his own and just have his own life. Like, he's always going to be tied to us in a different way than a typical child would be tied to their family. It was hard sitting there and knowing, that this is going to be his future, and it's going to be different than what we expected for him.
Even though we had experience with Special Olympics and with working with kids with special needs, when it's your own child, it's a whole different ballgame.
In working with Special Olympics, it's always been 8 years old and up. And so I was, we have to wait till he's 8 years old for him to get involved in the Special Olympics. And then Jennifer Marcello, who I knew through my work experience, said that, hey, there's this brand new program, Young Athletes. It's for kids 3 till they age into regular Special Olympics or typical Special Olympics. And I was like, this is awesome, because if you can catch them when they're 3 years old, gosh. You go to a Young Athletes event and its parents are like, wow, I didn't even know my kids could do some of this stuff. And it's just neat to see the interactions between the parents and the kids. And so when Jen was telling me about this program, I'm like, this is perfect for Jake.
The Special Olympics Young Athletes program is a gross motor sports play program geared for children between the ages of 2 and 7 with as well as without intellectual disabilities. There are 3 main goals of the Young Athletes program. The first is the cognitive, social, and emotional development of the athletes that we're working with. The second is to engage Special Olympics Young Athletes into the support network of Special Olympics and all that it has to offer. And the third is to offer families the opportunity to share in the success and the joy of their future Special Olympics athletes.
If you look at special rec programs or even regular park district programs, there's not a whole lot for that age group. So, the kids that didn't have the Young Athletes program kind of missed out on all those socialization possibilities, all those ways to improve their gross motor, their fine motor. There's just so many things that they're learning through this, but they're having fun doing it. It's not like they're learning, and like it's like, oh, you have to do this. It's like, oh, wow, look at that tunnel. I get to crawl through that and get to the other side, or I get to take this really pretty purple beanbag and throw it at a hula hoop, or, it's fun. But it's something that when the Young Athletes program wasn't in existence, they went for a couple years until they were old enough to participate in Special Olympics. And by that time, they missed out on all of those years of just improving their skills, their basic skills, so that they can participate in an actual sport. I think the teachers, the staff, the principals, the superintendents, they're all kind of jumping on the bandwagon of realizing that this is an important piece for these children, and not just to let them throw some equipment out and let them go play, but actually teaching them skills that are helping them in other areas of their, in their lives.
The social aspect of the Young Athletes program really gave the students from the special ed rooms and the regular ed rooms a place to play together, where I think that's how children get to know each other.
It makes me feel amazing. And I feel inspired when I help them because I feel like sometimes they actually teach me stuff and I don't really teach them that many stuff.
One of our athletes, Susie, who has participated in Special Olympics for years, decades, wasn't never offered this opportunity to participate in a young athletes program and missed out on that preparation and training.
The true experience of Special Olympics didn't start until age 8, when she was in track and field in Mundelein, I believe, ran the 30 or 20-yard dash, whatever we had. It wasn't very long distance, but I remember that day vividly because everybody was awarded a number. You had to wear a number on your shirt, and lo and behold, if she didn't get number 1 out of that whole crew, and there had to have been probably 300 kids there, and here's Susan running around with number 1. In our minds, she was number 1. As Susan got involved, we could really see, looking back, like maybe a flower in bloom would be maybe a description that I would use. She just kind of came alive. She got to be more social with her peers. It gave her the opportunity to be on her own in some respects with other children of all different abilities. And in retrospect, I look back and I think it was certainly the best thing for her, and it might have been good if she could have started before age 8. I think every day with a special needs child, every day that you can get them actively involved, it's certainly an asset. You think the kids aren't learning because they can't talk, but they're still learning. Every day they're learning, even though they're not necessarily verbal. And I think starting them as young as you can has got a lot of merit, I really do.
Teachers are always looking for something new, something to help, something to excite the kids, and this is it. It's easy to do, it's easy to incorporate, and the rewards are amazing.
Jack's always been involved with sports since he was as little as can be. We're so proud of what he's done since he's got into the program, and we know he's going to be successful in whatever endeavors, especially when he gets into the Olympics itself, the Special Olympics, when he turns 8 and he's going for it for real.
When I first got Joshua's diagnosis, I was made to feel like it was almost like a death sentence, but it's been so wonderful. These children are just triumphant. They have such beautiful spirits. They learn and grow like everybody else, just at a different pace, and this is just an opportunity for you to know that not only are you not alone, but that your children are just wonderful, and it's worth every minute. It's a beautiful experience.
Today he had his first event, and I'm like, this is like a milestone. This is, like starting to walk or starting to talk, He's starting his Special Olympics career. And just choked me up just because I just have seen kids grow so much through Special Olympics. And, now here's his chance.
If he comes in first place or if he comes in last place, it doesn't make a difference. He's always proud of what he did. And he's always proud of the others, and he's always cheering for the others, and I think that's what the Special Olympics is all about. He's exceeded what we ever thought he'd be doing at the time he was a 5-year-old, at least in my eyes.
We tried to do the best we could, and at first, and, there would be days that we would just have little breakdowns, You look at him, and he had to try so hard to do so many things that just come so much easier to other kids. And, and I think I didn't even realize that until we have our second son, David, and I see how easy things come for him, and Jake had to just try so hard.
He's always trying to help his little brother, and I know down the road his brother's gonna help him.
We were really, really lucky, and that's how we look at him every day, and, it's good. It's good.